I always forget to start the camera. It's sort of like a thing is like my trope now, is I always forget to turn on the camera. But anyway, so you make music under the name Penny Mae. I actually was looking at some of your SoundCloud stuff. You used to go by Pen the Wizard. Was that it?
Yes, I did. It was a nickname I was given in high school. I have this gift where somehow when I don't know what to do, I always come up with the answer. So I was called Pen the Wizard and started recording under that. And then my middle name is May, so I decided to go with Penny Mae because it's a little bit more professional.
Yeah. So with like starting doing music under, you know, that name, Pen the Wizard and stuff like that, when did you decide like when did you decide you needed to be like more professional, or you wanted to take it more seriously?
Well, I started writing music this past summer, and it was kind of just a challenge to show my dad that, you know, I could write a song in a whole day.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it up on SoundCloud. Pen the Wizard kept coming out with music, and I realized I was getting a huge response from my friends and strangers, and I just realized, you know, there's Megan the Stallion, and I didn't want to have a, you know, unauthentic name. So I thought, you know, this is the time to go all in, change my name, start being more professional with what I record, what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you said the first song you made was because of a challenge with your dad?
Yeah.
So explain that a little bit.
So music's really big in my family. My grandpa was actually a jazz teacher, and then my dad and all his siblings played instruments, and so did me and my siblings, and it's always just kind of been a thing in our family, you know, like, oh, well, you can't sing this song, you can't hit that note.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you can't write a song in just a day. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it then. And I did it, and that's when I wrote Scooby Doo, which was actually one of my first songs that I put out on my album.
Yeah. So with your family like being all involved in music and stuff, how do you think that's helped you into, you know, being able to make songs today?
Oh, of course. I'm really close with my family, and I've been pushed almost into singing since I was 5 years old. And I also have ADHD. So along with ADHD, there's this thing that people can have called a phonological disorder, which basically means that you don't think in words. You almost think more in like sounds, and you can have trouble with your speech. I didn't, but I had trouble reading because of that. So my parents' trick was to start me on karaoke, because then I was singing, as I always loved to do, but then that way I had to read the words on the karaoke.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a combination of like family putting me into it, and I just loved it, and then it was also helping me and benefiting me in a lot of other categories in my life.
Yeah, they're sort of tricking you into having fun, right?
Exactly.
Like, hey, you're just singing, you're not reading. Right?
Yeah, I'm not reading, you're not doing any work.
Yeah. So you said what? Did you say the first song you made was Scooby Doo?
Yeah, and the second song I made ever was actually the Fawn, which is also on my album.
Yeah. So that's both of those songs have pretty good amount of streams on SoundCloud and Spotify. So how, you know, after getting that sort of reaction after your first few songs, like what was that like for you, and how did you react to that?
Well, I've always wanted to be a singer, but it's kind of taken a back seat, you know, to like school and reality, you know, because being a professional musician is really, really hard. But I think that when I finally saw that people were appreciating what I was creating, I realized that this is something I should do with my life, whether that be a career or just a lifelong pursuit. Because even though I might not be a singer, you know, as my career, and, you know, to have an income from that, I still identify as an artist.
Yeah. Yeah, so for those who don't know, can you sort of explain like what type of music you make?
I would say it's all across the board. I would say it's a little bit of a mix between R&B, hip hop, but also a little bit of spoken word and I don't know, just vibes.
It seems like you're sort of flowing into different genres a lot.
Yeah.
So with that, like who are some of your inspirations, like growing up and people now?
Amy Winehouse for the blues, definitely. Aretha Franklin, Etta James, Megan Thee Stallion. I just love how she's doing what she wants to do, and I don't know, she's paving the way for a lot of people. I also enjoy like Joni Mitchell and who am I forgetting? Missy Elliott, Stevie Wonder, Elton John, kind of all across the board, you know, people who were doing new stuff back then and now people who are paving the way for like new artists to experiment.
Yeah, yeah. So with that, how about we go ahead and play, well, your first song ever made. We'll go ahead and go with Scooby Doo by Penny Mae.
I don't wanna leave you, I don't wanna cry. Mystery machine, put my feelings aside. I don't know where I am, don't know where to go. At least I can flow, check out my ride. No, you can't come inside because I took the time to make me mine. And you came in and took everything from me. I don't know how to cope, so I stay afloat by smoking dope. As I lay here right now, I ask myself how I got lost. Don't know what to do, no clue what to do without you. Where's Scooby Doo, Ruggloo and Shaggy too? I miss my old crew, but we grew apart, and it breaks my heart. Growing up is hard, and no one told me that. I feel like Cat in the Hat. One thing leads to two things. Bought my own ring, 'cause I could sing, and now I'm lost. Don't know what to do, no clue without you. Where's Scooby Doo? Where's Scooby Doo? Where's Scooby Doo, Ruggloo and Shaggy too? I miss my old crew, but we grew apart, and it breaks my heart. Growing up is hard, and no one told me that. I feel like Cat in the Hat. One thing leads to two things. Bought my own ring, 'cause I could sing, and now I'm lost. Don't know what to do, no clue without you. Where's Scooby Doo?
Alrighty, that was Scooby Doo by Penny Mae. We were talking about this in between, but you said you got both Scooby Doo and the Fawn professionally produced after you've originally made those songs. So sort of explain to like people the difference in quality. So well, let me ask this: the first Scooby Doo song, did you produce that all alone by yourself?
So I originally produced it by myself, and then I kind of used that as a rough draft to bring to my producer, who then mixed it for me and, you know, just helped me create a more polished version.
Yeah. So, who is your producer?
His name is Ben Obi, so I am signed to Savannah Street Records. He is pretty nationally known. I think he's won some awards for his work, and I know that he has worked with a lot of big artists like Lauryn Hill, for example. And I met him through my vocal coach, who was producing with him when I was 14, and I recorded a song with him just to, you know, kind of get myself working in that area and get myself comfortable with being in a booth and singing. And I never did anything with the song, but then once I started writing music and my dad was posting it on his Facebook, he came over and he was like, this is really good, we could really work with this, I really need some new young artists, and kind of took off from there and did it this summer, and this next summer we're going to be doing music videos for these songs.
That's awesome. So, talk about getting signed to Savannah Street Records. So how did that come about? Like, what was the moment? Did they reach out to you? How did that happen?
Well, so they reached out to me when I was making music, but it was ultimately kind of my decision to sign with them. I didn't make the decision actually until after the music was mixed. Ben was like, oh, are you gonna belong to our label? Or are you gonna be like independent? Or are you gonna go off with somebody else? And I was like, no, I want to be represented by you. I started with you. I want to end with you. And he's great. You know, he always brings me lemon water, which is really nice. And yeah, he's a good guy, and he's really helped me like become more of the artist that I want to be, and really like evolve into a more professional artist than I think I was last year.
Yeah, so right now, where are you recording at? Are you making songs at home, or?
Yeah, so I have a little box, I guess you could say, with foam in it, and then I take a coffee cup and I put a mic in it, hook it up to my computer, close the door, you know, try and be in a small room, and I just record. And I don't have any like education within like mixing or producing, so I do it all by ear. So it's as good as it can get, but it's better than an unfinished version.
Yeah. So with, you know, you just said you mix and like sort of produce by ear. How have you been able to do that? Because that's a challenge, just trying to have something that's even rough. It's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to give that to just my family bringing me up in music, and my brother, who actually goes to St. Thomas too. He's in law school here right now, but he's a really good piano player. And so I kind of grew up just watching him play the piano and singing to his scales, and I think I just trained some muscle memory with how I listen to things, and that's kind of something I've just naturally been inclined at doing my whole life. Like I said, it's not professionally mixed, but I think it's pretty good when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously if you got producers hopping on Scooby Doo and the Fawn after your rough mix, you got something there.
Yeah.
So with like when you first started making music, so when was that? When did you first start writing and making your own songs?
Right after quarantine started. So I'd say last April, I went home, challenged my dad, wrote Scooby Doo. And from that day on, I think I wrote 26 songs. I wrote in a row, one each day. And then my dad was like, whoa, you just said you were gonna write one, you know? But yeah, that's when I started. I just had a complete like creative spiral, and I just wrote song after song after song, and some were better than others, and I rewrote some of them, and that's when I was kind of like, hey, you know, I got something. I got a little gift. I can write something people want to listen to.
Yeah. So with so it's almost been a year now. How do you think you've changed musically throughout this past year, like learning more and making different songs?
I think that I am more sure of what I want to share. And by that I mean I'm more sure of kind of what messages I want to put out. Because when I first started writing, it was really just experimenting. Like, how does this song sound compared to this song? And do people like this one better? Do they like it better with this track behind it or this much bass? And do they like rapping? Do they want me to talk about, funny things and, unserious things? Or do people want me to talk about, personal things or things that I'm passionate about or I think need to be talked about more? So I think now when I'm writing, I think a lot more about what messages I'm putting out rather than just having fun. Not that serious messages in a song can't also be like a fun, lit, upbeat song.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about what type of music you make, but what I've noticed throughout is you switch from like sort of rapping and singing, which is interesting. Like, where do you think you get that from? Is it just like messing around? Sometimes you rap, sometimes you sing, or?
Well, and I think that is a big reflection of my music taste, because I either want to listen to Gucci Mane or A$AP Rocky, or I want to listen to like the Beatles or Adele. I'm kind of either I want to hear a ballad and a sweet song, or I want to like hear the beat and You
want the 808s bumping.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So I think that rapping was kind of honestly something I just wanted to challenge myself on and see if I could get good at it. And that's kind of why I said my genre is like spoken word, because the whole song isn't usually rapping, but I think it adds kind of a layer to it where it's more like a story, which I really like. And I just think that it helps like amplify the vocals that I have. I almost think of it as like the voice talking is like me, and the vocals that I'm producing are, almost my emotions.
Yeah. So you sort of just talked about your writing there, and you spoke about earlier, you're sort of more focused on messages that you want to put out. So what are those messages? What have you put out so far, and what do you plan on writing about in the future?
I like to write about almost my past self. For example, like the Fawn in Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo is kind of about right when I got out of high school and I realized, this is it, I'm becoming an adult, this is a lot harder than I initially thought it would be. I thought I knew so much more than I actually did, and this is really hard. So that's kind of what Scooby Doo is about, is just my past self being a little bit lost. And almost the song is me processing those emotions. And the Fawn is about me almost being naive again when I'm younger, with boys or whatever, your relationships and getting your heart broken, and just kind of normalizing the fact that it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to not be perfect, and it's okay to be real. And I also really want to talk about, if this makes sense, I want to talk about what I want to talk about without there being any judgments or limitations on it.
Yeah.
I think that in the music world, specifically with like women, there's a lot of like more pressure on what they say. More guys can go around and say whatever they want in a song and it's cool or whatever. And then if, a woman says it's like, oh, she's gross, or, she's unprofessional. And I really want to like take that back, because it should be the same, and people should be able to express what they want, because that's what music is about.
Yeah, you're definitely right with that. I mean, we've seen it just this year with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion with WAP and stuff. Everyone freaking out over that song for no reason, I felt like.
I know, because it's like, it's not like that hasn't been done
before.
Yeah,
I know. It's just like, okay, if Lil Pump made this song, everyone wouldn't, no one would say anything.
Exactly.
It also wouldn't be as good, but So, what is your writing process like? Do you just go in and have a beat and start freestyling, or?
Yeah, I go on YouTube or just beat selling websites, and I just listen, see if a melody or any lyrics come to mind. I might even save the beat if I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And then I usually start writing my lyrics down, or I'll listen to my older songs and take lyrics from those songs that I haven't put out, and then put that to the music, and then listen to it a ton of times, usually add some vocals and layering, and then maybe some sound effects, going with the reverb, going with all the mixing, and then I put it up on SoundCloud, and then SoundCloud actually has this really cool feature called mastering, where you can literally like mix and master your track. So I use that before I put my songs up too, which really, really helps.
Yeah, so talk about sort of like the way you release songs, because I know like 2 days ago you released a song just on SoundCloud randomly. So like, how do you go? Do you just like really like a song and you're like, I want it now, like I want people to hear it now?
Well, and that's kind of me wanting my audience's response. So what I like to do is put up the rough draft version, see how people respond, see how my friends respond or strangers respond, and then kind of think, is this a song that I want to take into the studio and polish more and work on, or is this something that I could maybe rework and make better? Yeah. So who is your go-to person to show a song to? My dad.
Yeah?
He's a drummer, and he is a perfectionist, so he'll always be honest with me and give me tips and tricks and tell me which parts to redo. Always giving me ideas for new songs or sending me, tracks to work with and stuff.
Yeah. Does he ever has he ever drummed on any of your songs, laid down a drum?
He hasn't, but he did recently tell me that he was actually working on one with my producer to record for one of my songs.
Perfect. So there you go, the collab of the century, Penny Mae featuring her dad.
Exactly, Penny Mae and father.
Yeah. And so what program do you work on when you're producing and stuff like that? Are you on Garageband? Are you on Logic? Or?
I use Garageband. Like I said, I only have like limited knowledge of how to use it.
Yeah.
But I really want to get Pro Tools. I've heard a lot of good things about that. But I like Garageband because it's easy to cut things out, easy to switch things around, easy to layer. Really, there's like a lot of experimental like tracks you can put on top of your voice too to make you sound like a monster or a little like bean, like a helium voice. So I like those too. Those help me like, I don't know, create like a new kind of music, I think. Yeah,
and you can always go in and grab some stuff from YouTube, some sound effects and stuff like that, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah. With that, what song do you want to play next?
Ooh.
We have Beautiful Day, Ruby Crown, Purple Butterflies.
I would
Fawn,
say
Orange.
My favorite is the Fawn, so I kind of want to leave that last. I like Orange a lot. That's unreleased.
Let's go for it. An unreleased Penny Mae song. This is Orange.
Daydreaming, 'cause all the others, they hate seeing I'm just being. My brain, like an orange, can't stop ignoring its peeling. Yeah, you know the feeling, like a fish on a hook. It's reeling, yeah, it's reeling. My brain, like an orange, can't stop peeling. Yeah, you know the feeling.
a step up. Why does accountability feel like an attack? Was it the fact that I never felt you had my back? Sometimes life feels like one big race, but it's not, but it's not, but it's not the case. Just move at your own pace. Space, flying in outer space. No rules out here, no more fears. Everything is clear. Everything is clear.
So yeah, that was Orange by Penny Mae. So when's that song gonna be coming out? Any plans for it?
Well, hopefully I will record it in June, and takes usually about a month or two to get it on all platforms. So hopefully by August, before school starts next year.
Yeah. And you were talking about an album. So do you have any plans for that in the future?
Yes, I am planning to do my album this summer. I want to rework a lot of songs that I've already released on SoundCloud into the studio, like Orange, and doing some music videos along with that at the same time, and doing more interviews and photo shoots. That's kind of going to be like the jump start on my career this summer.
Yeah. So you got a lot of plans for this summer then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you said you started music over quarantine. How do you think that sort of helped you? Like, you have nothing else to do. You're just stuck inside. Did that help you at all to...
Of course, I was going literally stir crazy. I was taking summer classes actually, so that really helped keep me busy, but I just felt that, you know, there was so much going on in the world and I didn't really have like an outlet, and songwriting, it was almost just like me emotionally throwing up and just getting it all out there, and I think it just helped keep me sane and keep me grounded, and you know, think about that this isn't going to be forever, and I can prepare right now for what I've always wanted to do once, you know, shots start getting out and, you know, quarantine is over and everybody's healthy again.
Yeah. So do you think that, like, so when you write songs and stuff like that, how does your like mental state sort of affect how the song turns out, like production wise and songwriting wise?
I would say, okay, that's actually a really good question, because sometimes I will write a song, you know, if I'm in a chill, upbeat, I don't know, calm mood, and the song will come out, it'll be all right, but then say, you know, I'm watching a TV show and my favorite main character dies, you know, and I'm depressed. If I go back and rework on that song, it'll sound completely different. Just the tone of my voice, I'll change up the layering, you know. It also depends on, I feel like, if I'm in more of like a negative mood, I'll use my belt voice, which is my like fuller, you know, tummy voice that's a lot louder and I think more assertive. Or there's my falsetto voice, which is a little bit more like whispery and small and like, I don't know, I'd say that's more like when I'm feeling positive. That's the voice I use.
Yeah. You said you work with a vocal coach. So how did that come about, and how does that help you with your, you know, making music now?
So I've had a vocal coach since I was 5. I've had 3 different ones. I had one when I was a little girl named Donna. She was great. Deborah G. Music, who's locally in a lot of bands in Minnesota here. She taught me from the age of, I think, 8 up until I was 19 years old. And then I also worked with Tamatha, who I met my producer through, and I worked with her from the ages of 13 to 16. And she was really there not just as a vocal coach, but as like a performing coach, because I was doing a lot of competitions and like state fair, talent show and stuff, and I needed a lot of help with learning how to walk around the stage and perform and everything. But my teachers have taught me a lot about breath and control, and also just that taking a deep breath before you start singing really helps a lot, just being calm and being confident and doing it more for yourself than the people watching. That really creates a better performance.
Yeah, how did doing those contests and performances, how do you think that helped your confidence, for when you made your first song, Scooby Doo, or for, just putting music out there in general?
I think it helped tremendously. I also did a lot of national anthems growing up, for Twins, Timberwolves, Lynx, and I started really young when I was about 8. And at first it was terrifying. I'm a little girl out in the middle of the stage, but eventually it kind of just became that I'm more uncomfortable singing in front of a small group of people than a large group of people, because it's a lot more intimate.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm on stage, I don't really think about the people, as funny as it sounds, because I'm just so involved in the music and what's going on and delivering that to everybody, that it's just kind of like second nature now, where I don't really get nervous on stage. I get nervous before I go on, but not while singing.
Yeah. So when was your first performance?
The first time I sang in front of a crowd was at my grandpa's 70th birthday, but my first gig that I booked was state fair. My vocal teacher was in a band at a restaurant there, and I actually got up and sang about 5 songs. I think I was probably 10.
Yeah.
So and I sang, I think, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. So
there you go, 10-year-old.
10-year-old. So, and everybody was like, whoa, here you go. And I had my little pig ears on, from seeing the pigs at the state fair. So that's kind of where it all started. But
yeah, so doing those performances super young, what did you feel like going up there in front of people? For the first few times?
It really scared. It's, you're worried, am I gonna start on the wrong note? Am I gonna, break? Is my voice gonna crack? Am I gonna forget the words? And once you do it once and you kind of realize, hey, that's not so bad, and I'm actually capable of doing this, it gets a lot easier. And especially since I've been doing it for so many years now, I almost get like a rush of excitement when I see people listening to me sing.
Yeah. So what's the biggest performance you've done? You mentioned some.
I would say I sang at the St. Thomas football game last year.
Oh, the Tommy Johnny game.
Tommy Johnny game. So that was pretty big. I don't know how big the Twins arena or the Timberwolves arena are. I think those are pretty big though. I know there was one game where LeBron James was playing the Timberwolves, his team was there, and I sang that day, so that was a really big deal. I don't know who LeBron James plays for, I'm sorry, but
probably the Cavaliers or something back then. That's really, so it's same court as LeBron James at what, 15 or something? That's gotta be pretty, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, and they're always so nice. Whenever I'm practicing, because I have to go up and do a mic check before while they're all warming up, the players, and they always, are like, good job, or giving me a thumbs up, and that's just especially when I was younger, a lot to a little kid, to see somebody who's made it, giving me encouragement.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I feel like I have to ask, are there any embarrassing moments while you've been singing, performing?
Well, Tommy Johnny game last year, I think it was a satisfactory performance. I don't want to be too hard on myself, but I was so sick. I was like blowing my nose constantly before I went out to sing, and even now when I watch that performance, I just cringe a little bit because I can just tell, my tone isn't as great, my breathing is great, my notes aren't hitting as well. Something really embarrassing though. I'm trying to think.
You're just perfect, right?
Literally.
I don't make mistakes. Come on.
Yeah, I've never actually started a song on the wrong note, which is always my biggest fear, so got pretty lucky.
Yeah. So, how do you think that experience with, doing those performances gonna turn into, maybe, I assume at some point you're planning on doing shows, for yourself. So, how are you, I feel like you probably feel pretty prepared to go out there and headline your own show.
Yeah, I'm still determining, what kind of performer do I want to be? Am I gonna have a Taylor Swift moment and sit down in a chair with a guitar and, talk about being in love and heartbreak? Or am I gonna, be dancing across the stage, jumping around, going from left to right?
Yeah.
And I think it would just be a combination of both depending on, the song. But I love to dance, and I love to, sing with the audience, get some back and forth going,
Yeah. What song are you most excited to perform?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would probably say the Fawn, or I do have this song on SoundCloud called Beautiful Day, which is fire. It's pretty good. It's got a really nice beat, and I think that would be a really fun song. Just like jump around the stage to sing to and get everybody else jumping around too.
Yeah. Well, how about we go ahead and play that song, Beautiful Day by Penny Mae. It's released on SoundCloud, and here it is for you.
Stars light up my array. I ask my soul, are you okay? She says, it's a beautiful day. It's okay, it's a beautiful day. Don't get lost in the shade where it's dark side. Luke Skywalker in my right. I'm lit with a Jedi. Prove it. We got red eyes. Let out my side. It's a beautiful day. You're okay. Don't be mad. It's okay to feel bad, but remember, it's a beautiful day. It's okay, and you'll be glad. Everyone feels sad. Look at the whole painting. I know it feels like we're forever waiting, but the key is patience. When I get down, I just let out my sound. It's a beautiful day. You're okay. Don't be mad. It's okay to feel bad, but remember, it's a beautiful day. It's okay, and you'll be glad. Everyone feels sad. Everyone gets mad. It's a beautiful day. Each and every day will be okay. I'm a mommy. It's a beautiful day. Gonna keep making my way on the dark side. In my ride with Skywalker. I'm lit with a Jedi. Prove it, we got red eyes. It's a beautiful day. It's okay. Each and every day, beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Everything gonna be okay. On the beautiful day.
Sorry about that, everybody. I wasn't quick enough on the SoundCloud pause button, but that was Beautiful Day by Penny Mae. I mentioned this earlier, but a lot of your songs have done particularly well on SoundCloud. How has that happened? Is it just getting put on playlists and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, getting put on playlists and like Instagram pages for promotions. There's also like you can it sounds weird, but there's like this type of organic promotion that you can do where somebody like writes out all the lyrics to your song on like a whiteboard, and it's just like an aesthetic thing. But it's just the lyrics on a whiteboard, and that helped me get like a ton of views. I have no idea
Really?
what website that belongs to, but yeah, that was one. Just my friends sharing my songs too really helps a lot. And I've gotten like some attention, I know, from some verified Instagrammers. So guessing they shared it to somebody somehow. That's how it got the views. But yeah, just really my friends in my community and like people at St. Thomas listening and sharing it with their friends.
Yeah, so since like coming in and making your own songs, how has like getting that positive reaction from your friends and even getting some critique from them, maybe, how has that helped you?
It's helped me a lot because my friends will be honest with me and they'll tell it to me straight, you know, your rapping doesn't sound super great on this one, or you should say what you're saying this way instead. It's really nice because a lot of my friends are also musicians, or like working with beats or just songwriting in general. So I get to collaborate a lot with my friends, and I'd hopefully one day like to do like a song with some people that I know.
Yeah. So collaborations. Who would you like to collab with in the future? Both, you know, maybe locally and you know, Drink, or you know, the big guns.
Locally, I did do a song a while back. I took it down, but with this guy named Keith Purvis. He's a rapper locally around the Twin Cities. He's really great, really talented. I know there's also this rapper named Lil Crush.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met him. I know I have some friends that know him, but I would like love to make a song with him. But talking about big celebrities, Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
100%.
That's such a... I did not expect you to say that, but that's perfect.
Snoop Dogg or Gucci Mane, just because it's like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, that would just be like, my life is complete from this
Those would
moment
be
on.
legendary features. I mean, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Snoop Dogg or Gucci Mane?
Snoop Dogg or Gucci Mane on Scooby Doo.
Yeah. And so what I ask everyone this, what's your favorite song of all time?
Wow.
Yeah, everyone struggles with it a little bit.
Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder? Probably. Or Crank That by Soulja Boy.
Oh, wow. You're just coming in with the hits today.
I know.
Did you ever learn the Crank That? Did you ever learn the dance moves?
Oh, of course, did all the dances.
Soulja Boy.
Soulja Boy. Watch Me You. I actually played that last night for my friends. That's why I was thinking of it. But
Well, yeah, it's a banger. So, and you talked about doing music videos this upcoming year, or this summer, earlier. What are you trying to like create with those music videos? Are you trying to create a specific vibe and feel to all your music, or are you just trying to have fun with it and give people a visual?
I'm gonna focus on the visual, I think, more. I've talked with my producer that I want to do a play on color. So I know, for example, like Billie Eilish does this a lot, where she uses like colors in her music video to kind of like signify emotions. So I would like to do that with kind of each of my songs, depending on the vibe of the song or that specific, you know, line in the song. Is it angry or is it sad? Because if it's angry, I would say the room I'm in and what I'm wearing should be red, right?
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa, you know, if I'm sad, blue. So I kind of want to do a little play on that, but I have to keep the rest a secret.
Yes, get some creative juices out. So what song is coming first, music video wise?
Scooby Doo or the Fawn. I haven't
Yeah.
decided yet. Probably Scooby Doo, just because that's the first song that I wrote, and I feel like it deserves that. So probably Scooby Doo.
Yeah. So with that, are you gonna be recording anywhere specific, and are you gonna do it here in Minnesota?
Yeah. So my producer lives in Woodbury, Minnesota. So I just take a 30-minute drive out there, and he's got a
Yeah.
whole studio in his basement. So yeah, I don't have to go too far, which is really nice.
Yeah. Is that where you do most of your recording besides at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking, we sort of talked about your producer earlier a little bit, but how has he helped you, grow yourself, like both as an artist, as a person, in your songs and stuff like that?
That is a good question. I think I kind of like owe all of this success to him, really, because I've known him since I was, I said 14 years old, and he believed in me then, even though I didn't do anything with the song when I was 14. But he always encouraged me and kind of believed in me when I was more insecure when I was younger about singing. And when I took my songs into him, he wasn't judgmental. He just, tried to help me do the best job and give me suggestions on layering and, say the word like that. And he's really good at just helping me navigate the music industry as well, because I'm really new to all of that. And, there's a lot of scammers out there, and there's a lot of, you don't want to make a wrong move early in your career. And so he's really helped me, make the right choices and, make the right timing, because timing's really important too when releasing music, I think. And yeah, he's also just like a great friend. You don't feel uncomfortable when you go into the studio. It's very casual, and he's a really nice guy, and he's super talented. It's like he just transforms my songs with magic.
Yeah, that's awesome to have around, sort of like a friend and a mentor a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh geez, I just forgot what I was gonna say. But I can't even think right now. So with making your music now, what has changed overall, or what changes from the time you go from recording at your house to recording in the studio?
Well, so for example, in my song "The Fawn," when I originally recorded it, it didn't have any layering, so it was just my belt voice, singing the song. And when I brought it into the studio, Ben said, how about we add this layering, how about we add this falsetto onto the chorus? And then we made a ton of layers. So we had 4 different harmonies going at once. And when you listen to the Fawn, which I think we will later, you can really hear that those harmonies, and it almost takes the song to space and kind of gives it a whole other feel than it was before. And I think it's honestly my best song that I have out right now. And it's really all due to that part of the song that makes it so great.
Yeah. So what with doing school, so you're a sophomore here, psych major, with doing school and making music, how do you find time for both, and how do you decide when it's time to make music, when it's just time to do homework?
My brain has trouble deciding sometimes, because it seems every time I need to do my homework, I want to write a song, but then whenever I have no homework, I'm like, oh, I'll write a song later. So I'm a big procrastinator, so when it comes to my homework, I actually will write a song, and be like, oh, I have creativity right now. I have to write right now, and then I'll do my homework after. But it is challenging just because, I really want to fully commit to either one, but I'm also now, I think, committed to doing both of them equally, you know, school and music. And I think just finding time on weekends or getting homework done early really helps. And yeah, I don't know, we just had breaks. That was nice. I wrote a ton of songs over break.
Yeah, so sort of trying to find that opportunity to do it and just going in.
Mhm.
Yeah, so how long does it take for you to make a song?
Like to write the song or to have the final version?
Yeah, whole deal, whole ordeal.
Whole ordeal, I would say 6 months.
Dang, that's a while.
Yeah, well, just because I usually write a lot of songs at once, and then I have to, you know, send them over to my producer, and he has to go through all the legal stuff, making sure we can use everything. I use a lot of fairy tale characters in my story. Like the Fawn mentions Bambi, and Scooby Doo is Scooby Doo. I know I have a song where I mentioned the Pied Piper, so making sure that I don't copyright any of those things is I have to get all checked out before, and you know, just him setting up the track for me and leveling everything out and making it more polished. And then, you know, I'll go in one day, record the whole song, go back the next weekend, record the next song, and then it takes him about, I'd say, like 1 or 2 months to mix the whole thing and then to get it up on like Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about the Fawn a lot, so let's go ahead and play it. This is The Fawn by Penny Mae.
What's going on? They call me the Fawn because I'm so naive. Don't take advantage of me, please. Oh, just chilling with my good friend Bambi, my good old friend Bambi.
Thumper,
Yes, Mama?
what did your father tell you this morning?
You can't say something nice. Don't say nothing at all.
Come on, Bambi, get up, try again.
What's going on? They call me the Fawn because I'm so naive. Don't take advantage of me, please. Oh, just chilling with my good friend Bambi, my good old friend Bambi.
Alrighty, welcome back to KUST. That was The Fawn by Penny Mae. In between, or in the middle of that song, you start, you talk about, you know, Bambi, you do this sort of like, what would you call that? Like a metaphor, sort of, or?
So that's like from the movie when like Bambi's talking to Thumper, you know,
Mhm.
if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
And I think that the point of the song is just, you know, being naive and when you think that you know everything and you don't. And that's just like a little saying I think about, you know, when I feel a little bit too overconfident in what I'm thinking, you know, or I'm thinking something negative or judgmental about somebody or something. I try and think, you know, if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Or maybe, you know, question why I'm thinking that way, you know?
Yeah. So throughout, you know, this year of making music, have you ever been not motivated at all? Have you ever been discouraged? Like, this isn't gonna work out. You just like have a bad day or anything?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, music is like a long road, I think, especially if it's like a part of your career. You know, most people that make it, you know, they're in the game for like 5 years or even more before they really have any like, you know, national success or anything like that, or even like local success. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it throughout like the North Carolina, you know, underground music scene is really, even it's hard to get big locally sometimes. So like finding that first step is really important, and you've sort of already done that, which is good for you, I guess.
Yeah, and just keep going and
Yeah.
keep telling people. Or I really want to make business cards and just like give them out to people.
Just give them out. I think I have like a rapper's business card in my wallet right now.
That's amazing.
From like 2 years ago, but you know, I have to support them. So
exactly.
One
Support
day,
the homies.
one day I'll go with SoundCloud. Actually, I think I've listened to it before. So what are your goals for the future? Like, in terms of we sort of talked about promoting with music videos and stuff, but you know, what are your long-term goals, short-term goals for music?
I'd say I definitely want to do like an on-stage performance somewhere.
Yeah.
Start doing shows, working with more artists. That's something I definitely want to dive into. And also just like challenging myself as an artist, you know, whether that be doing a whole song where I'm rapping, you know,
Yeah.
or doing a whole song where it's almost like a ballad, like Adele, just like pushing my boundaries in music and what I'm uncomfortable with so that I can grow more with it. And yeah, the music videos and just promoting on my own social media and growing my fan base there and really finding out like who is my fan base and how can I make songs that they want to listen to or keep them interested.
Yeah, and something I noticed, which I haven't mentioned before, is your album covers or your song covers are all like very poppy and like just a lot of colors there. So what is like where do you make them yourselves, or like what is the whole style there?
So I did make the Scooby Doo cover, the He Ass cover, and the Ladybug cover. So I just use an app called Baza Art, and then I power puffed myself into a Powerpuff Girl. I just think that's very cute, you know, to think of myself as like a little Powerpuff Girl in the middle of the space desert, you know, singing Scooby Doo. It's just, I think it's like authentic to who I am. And then the Fawn and Freaky Fall, I had those done by 2 separate cover artists who are super great, super talented. Freaky Fall, I know I got like a ton of feedback on like the cover of it. It's like 2 little cartoon people, one's like blue, one's green, in front of the Powerpuff heart.
So you're really rolling with the Powerpuff Girls, sort of, a little bit.
Yeah, I just like it. I just like the aesthetic.
It's one of my favorite shows, honestly.
It's so good.
I used to watch it so much growing up. All right, well, as we, you know, roll down here, what do the people need to know about Penny Mae?
What the people need to know about Penny Mae is that she's here right now. She's here for you. And she's here to stay.
Wow, powerful words. And with that, we'll, you know, thank you guys for coming in and listening on KUST. I'm Scout Mason, this is Penny Mae. Shout out your Instagrams and stuff like that.
Oh yes, I am official Penny Mae on Instagram, and just search Penny Mae on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, or iTunes.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Scout Mason with Penny Mae. You have a great rest of your day, guys.